The 5th ASEAN and Asia Forum drew a crowd of 300 business leaders, academics and government officials. One of the hottest topics discussed was how to engage with Myanmar.
As we all know, Myanmar has undergone a series of rapid changes since transiting from military rule in 2011. So we're going to discuss the impact of Myanmar's opening.
It's been a great political success story in a couple of years where there haven't been enough political success stories in Washington, D.C. So the measures that we're doing are recognizing the steps that Burma has already taken. That's what the easing or the waivers are about. But I have to be very clear that they've released approximately 500 prisoners. They've developed more than 100 labor unions. Of course, there were the by-elections in which Aung San Suu Kyi and her party achieved very substantial victories, gaining more than 40 seats in their very large parliament. But the political and economic reforms in Burma are very much a work in progress, very much incomplete. And the United States remains deeply concerned about the lack of transparency in Burma's investment environment and the military's substantial role in the economy.
The question that a lot of people ask me everywhere I go, is this real? Is this reform going to last? Will it turn back? And to that, I would just like to say that one, you have a president which is extraordinary. If you were to line up the 10 top brass of the military in the last 5 years before the election, you will find there's one general who is absolutely squeaky clean. President Thein Sein, formerly known as General Thein Sein, had a phrase that he used and which is quite known by all of us. When a businessman goes to him and talks about a deal, a project, and leaves something, he would always say, please take it back. I have enough to eat. If you insist on leaving this year, I can tell you I cannot give you the project. That was his hallmark. Now, if you then look at what happened within 8 months of his becoming president, you will start to believe that it is not just old wine rebottled in a new bottle. So that's the first point I want to make. Secondly, the people in Myanmar wants change. Now, Aung San Suu Kyi's party, NLD, won the entire by-elections. There are 44 seats contested. They won 43. One was because of disqualification. They won all the seats. But something significant here. There were 4 seats in the constituency of Naypyidaw. In Naypyidaw, there is no civil population. It's all military or government. 100% of the voters are from the government sector or from the armed forces. And yet, Aung San Suu Kyi's party won all 4 seats. Immediately following the elections, our president, as the de facto chairman of the ruling party, called for a meeting. In that speech to the parliament, what he said was that the people have spoken. The people have shown that they do not like, and he actually used they do not like us, from the very top to the very bottom. And he was very frank. Actually, it was a little bit stunning to hear him say that. And he said, we have 4 years to prove, to do something extraordinary if we are to remain. It also gave the NLD and Aung San Suu Kyi a rude awakening that maybe in 4 years' time, they will be ruling. And therefore, NLD also went into a very important meeting saying, we better get prepared. So this is the political dynamics that has been happening in our country.
Besides a deeper understanding of Myanmar's political landscape, the audience also gained insights on the challenges and business opportunities in the country.
I'll try to outline at least 5 key challenges that we might want to look at. Number one is, of course, the understanding about the nature and also the directions of the reform itself. What are the chances? The chances, for failure and also, of course, success. What happens, if suddenly, this reform, has to face the risk of, backsliding, and so on. The second challenge is actually to find the focus and also the priority, of engagement. We should, I think, begin, to support Myanmar in terms of the development first, and also in education. The third challenge is, I think, is a challenge of closing the gap, between Myanmar and the rest of ASEAN. I think ASEAN really needs, to support, Myanmar, in organizing, the summit in 2014. The fourth challenge: how do we reconcile progress, and pitfalls or drawbacks or challenges, in the opening of, of the country. The latest case, the ongoing case, of Rohingya really suggests that, problems are still there. The final challenge, I think, we need also to think beyond, the current positive developments. What ASEAN response should be, if, the current change actually goes wrong. Because, we don't know for sure, after the next election, say if Aung San Suu Kyi and NLD, take over power, how the Tatmadaw, will respond. I think, we really need to learn more, on those issues.
I would say that Myanmar could become the catalyst of ASEAN from pariah state to normal country, and this normal country will be, to use Washington rhetoric, game changer in the regions. If everything continues as Rizal has said, Myanmar is a top-down country, and people of Myanmar has discipline. Have you ever noticed that Yangon is much cleaner than Bangkok, than Phnom Penh, than Hanoi? Even in the bazaar, in the marketplace, there is this intuition for collective spirit that I think will drive Burma a long way. And you notice that Burma has given credits to their own people for the changes. Nothing referred to ASEAN, nothing referred to foreign country. Burma changed because we want to, because Myanmaris want to change. Number two, Aung San Suu Kyi is a Louis Vuitton of world leader. She is the magnet who attracts all these foreign investment. So she will have an important role to play. Number three, Myanmar has rich resource, which you have to really recognize. Uraniums, oils and gas, abundance, wood. Lastly, Myanmar, half of the country are young people, and they are very enthusiastic, and they speak English.
There is nothing that works better than economic prosperity. That's the best peacetime formula in the world.